So here it is, October. It's the first time it's been cool enough for me to be in the forge since early July. I've discovered that 95 degrees is about my limit as far as starting a 3,000 degree fire and smacking hot steel. So I had to wait until things got a little more livable, and now it's fall and it feels good. It's dark now. You can hear all the neighborhood dogs going crazy for whatever reason. They go crazy every night. But I'm going to start a fire and start smacking stuff. Okay, so we've got the usual roar from the forge started. I think tonight, instead of an actual project, I'm just going to do some skills exercises, a little hammer control exercise, make a leaf keychain, and just kind of get back into using the tools and making sure none of my skills have disappeared over the last 3 months. Not really doing anything too fancy tonight. I'm not even working more than one piece of steel at a time. So as you can see, I finally got a light out in the workshop. I'm still having to run an extension cord from the house, but you know, this is better than camping lanterns and gives me a pretty good even light and some nice dramatic light for the videos. Sorry about my face being in shadow most of the time. Now you see me, now you know. Alright, what I'm doing is squaring up this round bar. Work it a little easier. And I know what you're thinking. Wouldn't it make sense to just start with square bar? Yes, it would. But since I don't have any square bar, well, you work with what you got. This feels so good. It's been way too long. Getting to be out in my happy place again. So what I'm doing here is called half face blows. Where I'm putting the steel at the edge of the anvil and hitting down at an angle. It's not as easy as it sounds, honestly. As you can probably see, kind of making a mess of it. Alright, so I've got kind of a skinny point on that. I was hoping for something a little bit more sharp, like about 45 degrees, but oh well. Now I start working it on the edge of the anvil, and I need more heat. It's kind of cool, now that camera angles are actually a thing in my forge. I'm hoping that makes the videos a little more entertaining. So as you can see, what I've done is I've kind of made sort of an arrow point on there. And now I'm going to come back to the near edge of the anvil and do basically the same thing at the other end of my square section. And needs more heat. Okay. Next thing we do is flatten out this end. about half the size that I wanted. More heat. So at this point I've realized I may have grabbed steel that's a little bit too thin to make a leaf the size that I thought I was going to make. So I don't know what's going to happen with this. I'm just going to keep going, see what it turns out as. If it's anything halfway worthwhile, I don't know, I might give it away with the next thing I sell off the Etsy store or something. It's getting pretty thin. And still not very big. The steel on a curved surface makes it spread when you hit it. So by using the ball peen and the horn of the animal, I'm getting the maximum effect from every hammer blow. And it's getting to a pretty decent size. It's also getting pretty darn thin. Okay. Probably the last time working on the leaf part like this. So this is a nice chisel that I picked up from Ken's Custom Iron. If you get into blacksmithing, you're going to wind up probably buying a lot of stuff from them. They make tongs and various tools, and their prices are really good. Alright, so set these down, get my hammer, let's strike while the iron is proverbially hot. And yes, indeed, that was a mistake. Yeah. Well, I said I wouldn't edit it out if I screwed up. I just screwed up. Instead of one nice line across the leaf, I've got 3 really shallow ones. Let's see if I can salvage this. It's the great thing about a ball peen hammer. It can hide your mistakes somewhat. Liking that. I may need to file that tip down a bit. But that's a pretty cool look. It's got a nice bow to it. I think I'm going to transition to working on the stem. What I'm going to start doing now is start drawing that stem out and get it as thin as I can. Without ruining the leaf. Also going to work on rounding the stem. Which basically consists of taking this square shape I've got and knocking the corners down so it's an octagon. And then you knock those corners down, and the whole while you're hitting it and drawing it out, and eventually you wind up with something skinny and relatively round. Hopefully. This has just been something of a comedy of errors, but you know, I figured I'd bring you along for the ride. Alright, let's move this show up to the horn. I'm getting a little impatient, which always bodes well for a blacksmith. I've got some pretty big plans for the next few months. I'm finally going to get those bottle openers I've been talking about. I'm going to get them going. I figured out what I'm doing there. I'm going to start working on some letter openers because I'm going to be working on learning how to make blade shapes. And then once I'm ready to make blades, I've got over 5 feet of good blade steel, and this is going to become a whole bunch of knives, and I can't wait. But first, we work on the skills, because I do not want to waste a single gram of that good high carbon steel. An experienced blacksmith probably could have made 2 of these by now, but I'm learning, and I don't know, I'm not doing too bad, I think. This is generally a 15-minute project, or sometimes even a 5-minute project for some of these guys. I'm not there yet. Give me a couple of years and I will be. Meanwhile, I'm having fun. So yeah, this is how I'm spending my weekend. I hope yours is as fun. And now, back to Anvil Cam, brought to you by Acme Products. Right, get a little more of this going on. Just thinning it, getting it relatively round. Remember to make myself hold the hammer properly instead of doing this business, because this is going to give me a blister. I don't want a blister. Damn it. If you remember from the beginning of the video, these 2 divots weren't very far apart. Now that stem section stretches pretty much across the face of the anvil. And that's good, because I actually wanted it a little bit longer and a bit thinner. So guess what we're doing? Back in the fire. Alright, more of this. Now I know I've talked a lot about rounding the stem area, and as you can see, one thing it's not going to be is what you would call round. What it will be, though, is delightfully organic and bark-like, which I'm going to settle for, and of course, long and thin. And back in the fire. Okay, right now I've got the steel pushed back pretty far in the forge, and what I'm going to be doing is using the back edge of the tail of the anvil to actually cut the steel, which is what you do if you don't have a proper cutting tool. Alright, as you can see, the heat is back here instead of up there. Ooh, that is hot. I'll put it on the edge of the anvil. Eventually I will get a cut-off tool. But for now, this works pretty well. Put this in the quench tank, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quench my leaf too. And now this little dude is going to get a little bit of finishing done. Time to turn the forge off for a little bit. So, time for my ultra stylish safety glasses. Now, let's see what happens if we get good video or jitter vision. Hey, that might be working. Got a bucket of water over there. I'm going to go ahead and move it so you can see. And I'm going to get a little shaping done on the tip here. Oh, that's sharp. Definitely want to take any sharp edges off. And it's hot. Can you imagine that? All that friction and it actually got hot. Today's minor burn is brought to you by the letters D, U, and H. Move it around here so you can see what I'm doing. Make sure there's no rust spots at all. Alright. Now I think that's kind of pretty. And what I'm going to do at this point is turn the forge back on, heat this up, and bend it, and hopefully make kind of a keychain shape out of it. Yeah, the grass is pretty long out there. It's been a rough summer for my lawnmower. So, with the forge still glowing like that, all I have to do is give it some propane. And what we're going to do is we're going to bend that stem. We're going to use this pair of pliers that I have filed the teeth off of so they won't leave marks on the steel. And we're going to use the last thing that I made at my forge, which is this pair of scrolling tongs, which was a kit from Ken's Custom Iron. They're a really cool shop, and these things are pretty handy. Okay, we got the leaf. I'm gonna hold it with the pliers and with the scrolling tongs. We're gonna gently bend it. And this is going to take a couple of heats. But eventually, we'll get it to the shape that I want. You know what? I think I'm going to use my bending tool. My wife bought this for me, and I know it's not a cup holder, and it's not a freaky coffee mug. This is a Hardy tool. It goes in what's called the Hardy hole, oddly enough. And this is made specifically for bending steel. It's also a handy tool holder. Alright. Got the steel. Got the pliers. Got the scrolling tongs. Got the bending form. Got cool steel again. Okay. Got the pliers. Just gonna freeform it a little bit with the scrolling tongs. Just trying to get it to loop back a bit. And I don't know if any of that was on camera. As you can see, we're getting it there. It's kind of a, well, it's kind of a big, beefy, clunky stem, but you know, like I said, it's just kind of a hammer practice. And really, I did hammer the shape fairly well. That's definitely not a key ring. I don't know what the hell it is. Okay. Gonna do a little bit of hammering here. get things to go where I want. A little more heat. That is hot. Get my scrolling tongs. Grab there. My handy toothless pliers. And that's the shape I was going for. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the hell I've made here. Certainly not a keychain. In fact, tonight seems to be all about seeing what happens. But that's okay. Because that is how you learn. All right, nice and shiny. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stick it in the forge. Even though the forge isn't on, it's still glowing red hot. It's still probably a good 500-600 degrees in there. And what this is going to do is create tempering colors in the steel. I'll just leave it in there for a couple of minutes, just long enough to heat it up good. And then I come over here to my work table to wax it. It's a previous leaf project from when I first started off. Makes a dandy prying tool. To get the lid off my wax. Well, it's got kind of a purpley hint to it. Cool it down. So these are the colors. Looks like everything's leaning towards purple tonight. What we want to do is get it so that it's just slightly too hot to comfortably hold. And then we spread the wax on it, which will soak into the steel and protect it. Got to move fairly fast because the steel cools quickly when you put cool wax on it. Okay. So there you have it. It's a little, yeah, whatever it is. I don't know. It's just something that I made. Still has the leaf shape, although I don't know if I would honestly call it a leaf. It's a tiny gardening spade for bonsais. That's what it is. Anyway, it was a skill building project. Probably took about 5 times as long as it should have, but it's got some nice little hints of color in it. I don't know if the camera's really picking it up well. You can kind of see the colors a little bit. Not sure what I'll do with it. I'm not sure what it's good for. It's kind of nifty. It's kind of fun to spin on your finger. And yeah. Thanks for watching me forge it. I don't know. It's definitely, if you want to use it as a keychain, it definitely would help you find your keys. It's got a good heft to it. Could use it as a self-defense weapon. Just feels good to be back in the forge. It's been too long. I've really been craving the just the feeling of being out here making stuff, and this is good. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching me whack stuff with a hammer. I know what I'll be doing tomorrow, and every chance I get until the heat comes back. Yeah, it's going to feel good to get back in the swing of things with the cooler weather. I've got all winter and all spring to make stuff. Hopefully you're going to start seeing more and more things available on the Etsy store. And I'm hoping within a few months to really bring out some cool stuff that I've got up here. And we'll see where that goes. So thanks for joining me. And I will see you next time. I'll get this uploaded at some point, hopefully tonight or maybe tomorrow. And keep watching. Click like on YouTube. Click like on the Facebook page. Go check me out on Etsy. Basically, I'm everywhere, and definitely hungering for attention. So, thanks a lot. I will see you next time.